Innovation, security, programming, technology, development.
Let's begin.
DevSecOps, your cybersecurity in technology podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you one more time for the episode 150 something. It's too many episodes. I already lost the count. It's the fifth season, so please go back, watch, listen to all the episodes. We have a lot of nice content for you to enrich your knowledge in DevSecOps, application security, and a bit of more fun with Marco's jokes from the past seasons that we kept. Guys, I'm Cássio Pereira.
I am Ben-Hur.
I'm Marcos.
That's how to say, one of the episodes that I was dreaming about to have it, to connect the person or the human psychologist side with the threats or dealing of the daily basis with the cybersecurity activities. And for that, we have a very nice guest that I will introduce in 1 second. Because before, I need to mention that the DevSecOps podcast has the support from Nova 8 and Checkmarks, that they are specialized in code security. Also, the Digital Oak, if you want to buy some application solutions, you can talk to Digital Oak. They have a full portfolio for you. Also, the Gold Security, if you want to have professional services regarding application security, talk to the the Gold Security. I'm kind of lost today with the ads, but here we are. Okay. First, to introduce our guest today, an amazing person that I met in LinkedIn a few weeks ago. She was on vacations, but finally we found time for her to be here. Magda, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with us. Please introduce yourself and we jump directly to the discussion.
Of course, guys. Thank you for having me today. And hello, everyone. My name is Magdalena Jarosz. I'm a psychologist and gardener by passion, but for over 8 years now, I work in the tech world. Mostly I was working with startups, helping them grow, connecting them with big enterprise customers. But starting this year, I kind of switched the sides because I joined the cybersec company with over 20 years of traditions securing. And now I gain completely new perspective. I'm learning a lot and I'm really fascinated by the cybersec world. Thank you for having me, and I hope we will learn a lot from each other today.
Yeah, very nice, Magda, to have you. And let's go directly to our first topic that I would like to discuss, which is maybe Ben-Hur, I know that you have some thoughts on this, so maybe you can start, and Magda can jump in with her comments, then Marcos also. It's about the why people are so afraid of vulnerabilities or security teams or the security guy, why people are so defensive, why they react on the first reaction is like, no, this is not my problem, or this is a false positive, or what do you think, or why do you think that people has this kind of behavior? Ben, you first. I know that you have some thoughts on this, then Magda can comment after.
First, it's because a vulnerability is not only a simple bug, it's a label without a typo error. It's a field that we have a problem with an input, but a vulnerability is I don't know which impact this bug could have. It's a vulnerability, so it's a problem of my work. This error makes that the company is now at risk. So I think this is the main reason when we report a vulnerability, and if the devs or something that's get the report of the vulnerability already know what is a vulnerability, but the main impact is the company could stop their operations because of my failure. So that's the main point, because why people is so afraid of vulnerabilities in these days.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I think it's more about, okay, it's my job, it's my work. Who are you to tell this kind of thing of my code?
Mm-hmm.
So
And the code is kind of the son or the daughter for the developers, right?
exactly. Two different times, two different visions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this is super crucial what you said, because this is where we are mostly afraid of, not really the vulnerabilities, but consequences. And sometimes you don't know. You don't know what to do, what the consequences might be. Because we have potential consequences. We all know, like money loss, right? There is reputational harm. We all know what happened with Microsoft, either though that was some error in the update on the side of CrowdStrike. All the harm has been made. Everyone was talking about Microsoft down, like all the big media station. That was crazy. And from the perspective of the employee, DevOps, product owner, whatever, this is extra workload. Always, this is extra workload. You have to fix something. I mean, in some companies that might end up in the backlog, but in most, people will do something with that, especially in the bigger companies. But what I would say is more scary or frustrating from the perspective of a DevOps would be pressure. Pressure from the management. They will be pushing you into fixing things in a cheap way, fast way, and for yesterday. A lot of companies is doing that. They are not so open for healthy ways to fix things. But guys, maybe you will tell me, how is it from the perspective of DevOps in the company, because I'm super curious about it.
Yeah, I think there is one big connection also with this as with Ben-Hur said. It's kind of a personal failure, right? Oh, I did something that might bring a risk. I have no idea what is this risk, and it's my fault or something like this. So they feel defensive because of this as well, right? And Marcos, do you have some thoughts on this?
No, about it's not too much. You and Ben were said too much about it, and Magda explained very well. And then I think I have some kind of emotional impact when we talk about it, because when I'm thinking about security or vulnerability in general, I think, okay, if I don't think it different, or if I don't send this vulnerability, or I don't apply the patch or other things, I feeling inside of myself, okay, I try to make some bad work, and the enterprise try to rip me or to cut off. I don't know, and my emotional is so many has so many impact when we talk about it. And I think for the different categories or the different professionals have the same sentiments about the okay, is it more emotional than impact on the enterprise. I think it's this.
One thing that I could add, it's like as when I was developer, I remember one teacher who was saying to me like, developers, we from IT, we have a super ego. We think we are the best and this kind of things. And I think this all emotional connections, like defensive or avoiding behaviors, has also some connection with ego, right, Magda? Maybe like, and also touching what Ben-Hur said, right? Oh, this is my work, my creation. I spend 1 month or 1 hour, doesn't matter, on this awesome code, to some random person to security say, oh, you have a vulnerability that might crash the whole company. Like, what the hell? Huh?
Yeah. And this is super interesting because when I was starting my job in tech, I was mostly running HR and marketing departments. And I interview hundreds of developers on different positions. And I always asked one question: why you became a developer? And 99% of people answered, because I'm a creator. I love to create. I need to create. I must create. This is like this inner feeling you have. So basically, if you invest significant time and effort into something, it got personal. It's hard to detach yourself. You can call it ego. You can call it like the work personal self, right? So it's hard to detach from that. And criticism can kind of feel like a personal attack. Like, you got this feeling under your skin. You are kind of frustrated, kind of mad. The more senior you are, the better you can deal with feedback, right? Because a lot of companies is saying, hey, we have amazing open feedback culture. We are open for that. Fail fast, learn faster, right?
Yeah.
At the end, it's not like that. So companies should promote it so employees feel safe. When anything comes up, they will just go, plan, and fix it, and that's it. But the thing is that companies are not really investing in security. And only after something will happen, they are like, oh, yeah, let's get some training. Let's buy more new pen tests, new tools, like let's hire new people. But sometimes it's too late.
DevSecOps.
Oh, sorry, you were talking and I touched the button by mistake. It was my mistake. But yeah, what this what you mentioned is exactly this. Some companies, they don't have this investment perspective. They are reactive instead of proactive, right? And this is a big problem as well. Okay, okay. And guys, what do you think about? I have kind of a theory that for life, not only in our area, right? That pain teaches more. Pain teaches more. Once you suffer with something, you kind of then you start being proactive with that specific problem. But before you have that feeling, you may not take care of much. So, for example, I can give an example of a cultural aspect. As a Brazilian and I was living in São Paulo. We never buy a car or a motorcycle without insurance because the possibility of being stolen, it's 80%, 90%, 99% that something will happen, in a traffic light, in a traffic jam.
Sometimes you have an insider thread inside the vehicle store
True,
that
true.
has a connection with some criminals
Criminal
that
organized.
tell the criminals that car does not have insurance.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
for rich people.
Yeah.
Here, it's
So
another
we have
level.
this culture of insurance is mandatory. Otherwise, it's better to don't have a car. So this is one thing, and unless someone like decide to buy this car and you stay without insurance, and you are still paying the installments for, I don't know, a few years or a few months, and then you got lost, and then you still need to pay for something that you don't have, right? So insurance is kind of mandatory for our mindset, I would say. But that's the question. That's the next question. Next point I would like to touch. Do you, Magda, Ben-Hur, Marcos? You think that pain teaches matter, or we should be proactive, I would say, but but sometimes we don't have the resources or time or to do everything, right? It's also we need to be realistic here. So what do you think that about this pain teaches more?
I think is as you say, depends of the culture. Is you're in Brazil, for example, the pain is better. But if you are in Europe, the pain is not the best way for you follow. Okay, because in
Mm-hmm.
Europe we have some culture to believe more in the other. When you work in some
Trust
enterprise,
more, yeah.
we trust more. And you say we work in enterprise when you find some SQL injection, and in the paper says, okay, don't put this command, but stay in the document.
Yeah.
The attacker don't follow the documentation.
Yeah, this was a nice joke because in one company that I worked here, there was a SQL injection on the code. I was talking to the developers and they said, "Yeah, we know about it, but it's documented." And I was, "What the fuck?" So you were telling me that the hackers are gonna read this? And, oh, I cannot attack you because it's documented. Like, man, no.
But we have a documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
because
think
follow me.
I think okay, I agree that pain teaches very well, but I don't think the pain is the way to teach. So because the pain teach but have side effects because it's not teach isolated. It's create fear. If I have a company or an area or a place that teaches by pain, the only way that I can work better, can I increase, can I grow, it's by the pain. So I understand, I agree, it's real,
It
but
works, huh?
yeah, it works, but I should differ teach from trauma. And the two things I believe that's kind of different. And for example, like Magda said, we are having right now a teach by pain in the world from the event that we are already know it's everywhere. So, but what's the side effects? by this lesson? Hospitals,
Flights, everything was stopped. Yeah.
sites, enterprise, and the side effect is lives.
Yeah.
So I agree that teach very fucking well, but I disagree that's the way to teach.
Oh,
Cool.
I would agree because there's this thing with the pain. It teaches better till some point. The older we are, the more experienced we are, the more we realize that there are better ways to actually learn, right? But psychologically, people tend to learn more from negative experiences due to those emotional impact. Painful experiences can actually create very strong, long-lasting memories. And this is very, very primary trait of humans because this is like kind of warning system that will put you in the right position because pain and these really bad feelings, negative things that you will experience, those negative experiences will kind of force you to reassess your actions to avoid this kind of discomfort in the future, right? So you will be smarter. This is very primary, but I also believe that there are better ways to teach without the trauma. But what is happening? I saw some statistics that almost 80% of developers said that they believe that the security is the key. This is the most important. And on the other hand, only 30% of them feels like they are well trained. So I'm not sure if we don't learn by pain right now because people tend to be not so satisfied with their skills, right? When it comes to security. So we should do more. We should be more proactive and companies should support people because sometimes you have so much work on so many levels that you can go and do your research. And sometimes you have to do research on yourself, go and read, and this is normal, right? So yeah, let's try to learn not from pain.
Well,
You use a pen. I never more forgot about the logs because the pain side of my head is turned on every time when I think in logs. It's a good point.
Yeah. For those who doesn't know, Marcos was working in a company that they were turning off the log servers at night to save some money. And they needed to do some investigations, and there were no logs because they were shutting down.
Yeah.
So that's the pain that he suffered, right?
That's crazy, but I love it. Like,
Yeah.
failure study, how to fail in security.
Yes. How to fail with style.
Magda, I have a question for you. Exactly about one point. 30% of developers feel that they do not have the sufficient training or skills to deal with that. With this, it's another point in security that normally when we are talking about development, creating, we know where we are. It's a good development, it's working, has a beautiful interface, all the system support. We have the checklists that, okay, my job is done. When we put our feet in the cybersecurity area, we do not know all the attack techniques. We don't know how
How to
we will be.
protect, what to
We
do.
don't know because the knowledge is not in the clear face. It's under the hood. So we have all the hackers, APT, criminal groups that has extremely advanced knowledge, and this knowledge is used for personal goals like that. And this is not clear, and we will not never will read a paper, the new attack techniques from the criminals. So we do not know every time how we will be attacked.
Yes.
For your perspective, how to deal with the unknown?
Awesome question.
Yeah, it is. The first thing that appeared in my mind is to do a good threat modeling session before you start, and find yourself a good cybersecurity partner, because those are the two things I believe companies, big companies, banks, fintech, insurance, whatever, can win. Like really have a good trusted partner and do this freaking threat modeling that everyone is forgetting about. And this is funny because like that's the start of the project. And I would also say, keep on talking to your management about extra training or mentorship from someone who can help you, because developers should focus on building products, beautiful interfaces, like you said. And sometimes having help from someone from external can help, because then you are safe and sound doing your job, what you love, you can be a creator, and don't worry about the criminals. Leave it to the people who can actually protect you from that. So that would be my answer. But more, I'm curious, what you doing to feel better, to not to feel like.
I could add,
I drink.
but because I did therapy in the past, and I remember the therapist saying like, Cássio, we need to be just like Batman. Batman has this belt full of tools to be prepared for some kind of situations. He doesn't know what the situations he will find, but he has some tools, right? It's the same for our emotions. As far we get more mature, learning, and we have tools like therapy, religion, I don't know, exercise,
Grieving.
whatever, yeah, whatever, relaxing, sleeping, eating well, and so on. You are more mind prepared to the unknown. Like you're gonna lose someone in your life, you're gonna have an accident with your car, shit things will happen. And I would say that the same applies to the application security. If companies doesn't have maturity, like you start, guys, we have a psychologist here saying, do threat modeling, you motherfuckers.
The
Like,
first step.
yeah, she's not even tech, but she's saying this, and you are not doing. But do threat modeling, start scanning your code, start growing your maturity. So when the unknown comes, you will be more prepared than having nothing.
Yeah.
We could already finish the episode here and even charge for this advice.
But
We would be free for this one.
I ask for all the people to put in the last phrase of all the books of therapy, do the fucking threat model.
Yes.
And it will solve half of the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that was mostly business advice. I mean, like, there's a lot of things you can do. Like, I believe, like, dealing with your emotion, regulating your emotions, like, will be the key, right? Because what people will say is that don't keep your emotion inside, but also don't puke your emotions on everyone else, because this is not healthy. So
Yes.
learn how to regulate them. Have exercises, preferably on the fresh air, that will help you. You know that a few minutes looking at the green trees or whatever can help you relax, can help you totally build your mindset from the beginning with the fresh perspective. We need it. And we need some collaboration, teamwork. We need to support each other as a humans. So let's try to do it.
But a joke time, just a second.
DevSecOps.
Joke time. I could mention that the Tinder times in Brazil, people, they were trying to find the love of their lives, but we are kind of, okay, I met this person, but she lives in a strange neighborhood, I'm not going there. I want to find my marriage. I don't want to lose my kidney. So there was a kind of threat modeling advice that, okay, I don't go to this neighborhood, that there depends on the situation. So it's part of the life also to do threat modeling, to understand what bad things can do, to anticipate, to try to avoid them, right? We don't want to fall in traps. But okay, jokes apart, let's go to the next topic that I would like to bring to Magda into the discussion. Like, we are talking about emotions, and it's all about that, because we are humans, we're doing the work, right? But I would say on company building a product, building a software, we must be also rationals, right? We must have logic. We must follow orders. Sometimes it's not like, oh, I am upset today. Like, it doesn't matter. You need to do your work, and it's kind of like that. So Magda, what do you think how we could do this balance? Like, how to avoid letting emotions go over the rational decisions? For example, I could, as we started this conversation, right, I could say, oh, this is my baby code, nobody can talk about it, this is my love, it's perfect. But someone will protect you from criminals and say, look, this code could be better. Like this person is not criticizing you actually, but it's pointing an improvement, looking for the business perspective. How to deal with this conflict, emotion versus irrational, logical, and so on.
Yeah. What I saw during my work with developers is that the more senior you are, the better you can deal with it. And I believe this is the domain of juniors to be very feisty, a bit in denial, in frustration. If you're a senior and have a problem with that, maybe something went wrong on your journey, or maybe you just need to put more work into yourself, into personal development. Because for juniors, this is particularly hard, right? You got this first job, you got this new work environment, probably new office, new people. You have to learn how to deal with the small talk, how to learn the procedure, the standards, and you have one thing in your head: I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. And when you are focused on not to failing, you will probably fail. Plus, the whole access to your semantic web in your head is shut down. The more positive you are, the more reach to your memories, to your experience, to your knowledge you have. So this also might be a good idea. If you are super stressed, go out of the office, or even go to the bathroom, stand with your hands above your head. That will help you. That will really help you. And what I would do is that learn how to receive this feedback, because they do not taught us this in school, not during the university. Mostly we are learning that with our mentorships from developer side, and that might be hard. But guys, how do you deal with that?
I want to listen from you guys.
Well, Magda, I have a question here, also in this same topic.
Yeah.
Because I am from cybersecurity and application security. I have a team, and I support an area in my company. So I need to share my knowledge, something like that, in two ways: with my team and with the developers. So one thing that I strongly believe is the way we communicate cybersecurity is crucial. If I go to developers, hey, you guys, motherfucker, here is your report. So I will come back in 2 hours to see if it's fixed. So it's a way, not a better way, but it's a way. So with my team, for example, and developers, I always present the vulnerabilities in a session for learn, because all vulnerabilities, all reports, it's a training.
Yeah.
What's the report? Why it happened? Why it's a risk for the company? How an attacker could exploit it? And what can I do in this case and other similar cases? When I talk about similar cases, is how can I find similar vulnerabilities in my code? How to teach the developers to have a skill to find, because I am only one. I have a team, but they are 1,000 developers. So I can be everywhere.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what's the best advice for you that for us cybersecurity professionals could better communicate the security risks and vulnerabilities with developers, and for teach the juniors, the seniors? What's the key tips that you
I'm not a developer, but I will share what I believe. I believe we should inform that our world is changing very fast, and we can be perfect in our work. We can have a really perfect code, but we are not working alone. So we need to be aware that new ways of attacks, new vulnerabilities will appear with time. Even more, the more new technologies you have, the more vulnerabilities and new ways of attacks you will have. So I would say make sure your team, the developers you are presenting the reports to, they are aware that this is normal, that a lot of companies is dealing with that, the biggest in the world, because my company is working with companies from Fortune 500, and basically, like, in a lot of companies you can find same vulnerabilities. Like we are all dealing with the SSO, we are all dealing like with the LLMs right now, right? So like it's happening everywhere. This is normal. And what I would say, promote open feedback culture. Do some training for your people if they need it, and keep an open mind and let people fail sometimes. And also maybe try to motivate them for their own micro research, because I can see this is very motivating my team. If they do their own micro research, they go and they show that other companies has some vulnerabilities and this is okay. So that would be my advice. I'm not sure if it's the best, but I believe what you're doing, this learning session, this is it. Because when you are learning, you allow yourself to fail, right? So that might be very crucial.
Mark,
That's
have
good.
some comments?
Not a comment, but some. I think it's a complementation because it's my things, it's Marcos thinking. But when you talk to about feedbacks and about how to learn how to cheat, I think we have some point. In for me, it's work better is when you take the vulnerabilities and you take an application risk management plan, for example. When you take the vulnerabilities, because when we receive the report, we receive a lot of vulnerabilities. If you have an application risk, you put the vulnerabilities and the level of these vulnerabilities according of the application or according of the business. And for me, it works better when I say these vulnerabilities have more impact in my application than other vulnerabilities. In some cases, I have low vulnerabilities or medium vulnerabilities, or have with more impact than the high vulnerabilities or criticals. And for me, works better when you have this plan to sign or to teach the developer with this plan. For me, it's work better. I don't know if for you guys, but for me, when I have this thinking, is better.
I would agree with everything, unless my 2 decades of experience kind of say some different part. Not say different, like training, all these things. It's really it really works. But I will bring maybe some problems to the discussion. Okay, and Magda, help me with this. For example, I really believe that, for example, let's imagine I have an e-commerce and I am selling, I don't know, bijuteria. You know, there's it's the same word in English. I don't know how is it in English. Kind of jewelry, right?
Yeah.
So bijuteria is the same in Portuguese and Polish. So that's why I know you understand. So this is and imagine this e-commerce is offline because of a cyber attack.
Yeah.
What is the impact on the society? Like, oh, few people will be without the jewelry on that day, or some people will miss a present, a gift, or something, right? Okay, when I think
Add
further,
for the
when
people that works in that company.
yeah, when I go further, then I can think, okay, but people working for me on my company, they might work extra hours, they might have some stress, I might lose some money. This might impact on my business itself. The worst case, I shut down, I fire people, I bankrupt. Right? This is one scenario. But now let's imagine I am a bank and I am offline. Apart from this company problem, the worst case, I got bankrupt as a bank, which is, I would say, it's impossible, but for the exemplification. But what's the impact on the society? Like how millions of people would not be able to get their money, to pay for their bills, to use their resources, right? Or I don't know, I'm another company that that the impact on the society itself it should dictate my security posture. So I really love what you guys said, like training, etc., etc. But I see this movement that squads or teams, they are empowered, they decide their technology, their frameworks, their blah 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 blah. They also decide if they want to do security or not. Usually companies doesn't have this guidelines or this enforcement, so I really like the dictator style. Like, we will not release any software without all test A, B, and C. We will not deploy to production without this scan or this, and after this analysis. Marco said we have a high vulnerability but there's no business impact, or we have a medium vulnerability, high business impact. So when companies have this structure and this policy enforced, and I saw, you can check my LinkedIn, 30 companies I worked already. I just saw this in one company. Deployments was once a week and Wednesdays. If you miss the window, it will deploy next week. Doesn't matter if it's urgent, doesn't matter if you impact the business, it will follow the window, right? You need to check, you need to run the SaaS to fix the issues. There will be pen testing, you need to fix, blah, blah, blah. So there was a lot of really enforcement that was working. Teams were not allowed to bypass these kind of things, among other things, right? So this is the problem that I'm bringing here. I really like this approach of enforcing things from the business perspective as soon as the business know the impact on the society. If your business is knowing like bijuteria e-commerce, like okay, we can kind of do the way we want.
Yeah.
But when you are a bank or I don't know, a hospital or I don't know, more critical infrastructure, for example, there's no space for this. There's space for training, learning. I understand, but there's no space for let's see, maybe we can bypass this. You know, that's my
Very good
mindset
point.
here, you know.
Let's flip a coin.
I really like this dictator posture, but I know that doesn't work for other companies. Like for startups that they need to build 2-3 new features in a week for marketing or for competition. I understand, but if their business criticalities for the society might have an impact, big impact, like it's not acceptable, right? You can't do something like this.
Power plants. For
Power
example.
plants, autonomous cars, you know, all these things. Like there is no space for this kind of let's see if we do security or not. And then Magda, what do you think about this from the human perspective or psychology perspective? I don't know. That sometimes people are they think that they are more than the business itself. For example, I'm the security guy. I wish I could block everything here, but I'm not the business decision, right? I'm not the owner of the company itself. And sometimes I get frustrated with, oh, guys, we should do this, but the company doesn't want to do, and they go another way. Like how to deal with this? Maybe how to. I mean, there are some part of communication, also strategy and so on. But how do you see this? Is there some solution?
Yeah, like this is super hard, and it all depends on the company. What I saw, if the CEO and people in the managing board are closer to the technology, they actually understand that you need to invest in security. Like they are more open for the ideas from the security team, right? But there will be companies with strict standards and procedures, and they won't change it in the next 10 years unless someone will die and the system will change. Like that's normal. And this is also why a lot of companies, either though they have the internal amazing security team working 24/7, they are getting help from external cybersec company. And this might be crucial. I even saw customers who are approaching, like in 2 years, 5 different cybersec companies because they want to be sure. So maybe companies should have a bigger budget for that. What I also experienced is that the most of the testing looking for vulnerabilities is happening in Q1 and Q4. And there is this whole holiday season, and people are on vacation, not testing so much, only 2, 3 companies. And I believe like they should do more, they should try, especially when there is time for that. So maybe reassess your priorities. Maybe don't pump so much money into new features, but a bit more into security to be aware, to be like more sure that in the future you will have extra features, you don't have to shut down the company. But with the big ones, banks, airports, and everything, man, I don't know. Super hard, to be honest.
And you were Marcos. The question is democracy or dictator? What do you believe?
Oh my god.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Depends.
I think that there is moments for dictator and moments for
Democracy.
democracy, and it's all about the risk. Who will take the risk? So it's not about the dictator that I am a mid-level security analyst and I told you, the CEO of this company, that it should be no. Sometimes the dictator is this risk you as developer, as a cybersecurity analyst or whatever, it's not your responsibility to take the risk. That's the dictator part. So this risk is high enough to have be shared with the company owners. So if the company owner said, "Go ahead, we need to put this product on production," you say, "Go ahead, take your fucking risk," and then we all hear. But if you if you are in a company that is taking the risks, a high level risks all the time, put an alert in your head, because from the night to day you could lose your job, not because you are accepting the risk. It's because someone is exploring the risk you accepted. So take care.
This episode should be
And
paid. Let's stop here. You need to sign up, subscription, pay for monthly because it's too much nice information here. Sorry, Marcus, for to cutting you off. Go
no
on, go on.
problems. Is a complementation Ben-Hur said. Is a case without if, but when you have the vulnerabilities and exploit it. Is in the case when I think some case the top down discussions is have this better way and the good implementation in democracy and
Top
it
down, you
works
mean
better.
from the executives to
Yeah,
the company in general?
yeah.
Yeah.
Some case when I see and when I observe, when you have a top down, the implementations have more successful when you try to put to developer or to other areas to implement some cybersecurity or policies or other things. For me, I think this is top down have more effective results than other ways when you try to follow.
Okay. I would say I agree as well. Good point. So we are almost out of the time. So I want to bring this last comment or last insight here from Magda. Magda, do you have some advice, some comments, some things, some I don't know, some drugs that people should take to start doing their job? Like, what do you recommend?
Let me take my notes. What to?
If not here.
Okay, like I believe we are all humans, right? We are all working for something. And let's just remember there is something more than our work, than our career. Find yourself different planets, friends, family, passion, job, something else, and then you'll be a happy person. And don't take things too much personally. Be like Batman, right? Wear your cape to your job and be Batman, and then go home and be yourself. Be Cássio,
be,
Marcos.
be a billionaire like Bruce Wayne.
That would be good, but
That would be nice.
actually doesn't give you happiness if you don't
Yeah.
be a happy person. So guys, keep on doing, because I believe developers are the brightest minds in the industry. I love working with tech people, and keep on doing good job. Don't stress too much, and remember vulnerabilities are everywhere. So that would be it. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, that's cool. This last sentence reminds me from two things. I worked for a company, I cannot say the name, but we had mapped 200,000 vulnerabilities. 200,000 mapped, aside from the unknown, right? And this is one thing. Another thing was like a sentence that I always like to use is, for the attackers, they just need to find one problem. For us as defenders, we need to know all of them. So it's always a harder work, I would say, right? And Ben-Hur just mentioned also, he mentioned like the guys, once they will attack, they will find something, and what happens then? Yeah? So it's much stressful for us, ethical hackers, I would say, that we try to defend the company, try to defend their interests, because we know the risks and so on. So we want to try to prevent from everything. So, but I think what Magda said, right? Take this balance, kind of not, it's not personal, but try to make this balance, I'd say. No? Okay, Marcos, Ben-Hur, some final thoughts?
I have one final quote. Is is a one thing when I think everywhere. The enterprise no needs to find all the vulnerabilities in a SaaS scan. Need to find the best vulnerabilities to try to fix, and have a plan to try to find the others and fix during the time during the I don't know semester quadrimester. But you need to find the first vulnerabilities, fix it, and put the plan to find the others and fix it during the time. Don't think, okay, I have I don't know 1 million vulnerabilities. Okay, put a plan and make a scan for 5, 20, 30 vulnerabilities and fix it in the good time and you try to find another. In the moment, you fix all the things and you have your environment more safe and you try to sleep very well and the other things.
Cool. Make feasible, right? A feasible plan. Cool. Okay. Ben-Hur, any final thoughts?
And from my perspective, always think about the risk. What's the company risk? What's the business risk? And every time we talk, we are not talking about security. We are talking about risks. So what's the risk? For example, the CloudStrike was a vulnerability.
Nope.
No, it's not a vulnerability.
Well,
Let's stop
a
the
risk.
whole word.
It's a risk that runs something so close to the kernel. That's the risk. What if something is running so close to the crucial point of my system, if it fails? What happened? That's the risk. So we are all talk about the risk. The difference between a bug and a vulnerability, that is a vulnerability could be exploited by a criminal causing unintended impact. So talk about the risk, and if we have a conversation in any table, we are not talking about, I am the security, I have my point. You are the developer, you have your point. No. We are talking about the risk, center the risk. And both of us, security, development, business, we are talking about the risk, the villain in this table. So what is this risk? How could it be exploited? What can I do about it? Good threat models. So thank you, Magda, for this. Cássio, please make a cut for this and publish every week, please.
Yeah, cool.
And also, Magda, thank you for your time here. It was a pleasure and a great episode.
Magda, what is the risk of you recording with us one more episode and we can talk about more things on other topics? What's the risk?
There is a risk that we gonna be friends, guys. So
Yeah. Awesome.
Good.
That's good. So guys, thank you very much for this episode. I think it was a really nice conversation to bring these two words together, and it was amazing because I really was thinking to do this kind of connection since I started the podcast, but now I find it Magda, so maybe we're gonna record more episodes. Again, Magda, thank you for your time. Marcos, Ben-Hur, it was a pleasure. I'm Cássio Pereira.
I am Ben-Hur.
I'm Marco
thank you guys
Santos.
for having me.
Thank you very much, Magda.
So bye bye guys. See you next week.
Bye.
That was DevSecOps, your cybersecurity in technology podcast. DevSecOps, finishing now.